What really surprised me was we decided to throw Amazon in there. Why not? And Amazon was doing what their peers were the year before, even though this paper had been out for quite some time. So per usual, we let the companies know. And this time, the response was a little harder. And I thought maybe might makes right, because what power did I have as a graduate student going up against one of the most powerful companies in the world? Today, I really want to hone in on some of my research, which animates part of the book. And so this research was known as gender shades, when as a graduate student, I decided I wanted to test some of the biggest companies in the world and see how they did when it came to guessing the gender of a face. And so I looked at two big names you've probably seen of these companies, and then also a Chinese company that had access to billions of face photos to see if there was a data advantage. So how do we do? Overall, seems pretty good, right? Microsoft 94, they get an A. IBM 88, I'll give them a B. Am I a nice professor? What are we doing with this 90% in the middle? I don't know. We'll decide. Depends on the school. All right, so then once we start to break it down, right, by gender, what do we see? Better performance on the male-labeled faces than the female-labeled faces. When we break it down by skin type, overall better performance on lighter-labeled faces than darker-labeled faces. But then we went deeper, right? So we do the analysis by both gender and skin type. And for Microsoft, we actually saw perfection was possible. One group in particular, okay, a lot of males out here. Darker females, not so much, closer to 80%. These were the good results. When we moved to Face++, a company in China maybe had the data advantage, billions of photos. We actually see the best performance was on darker males. And so it's so important that we really look at the data when it comes to AI systems we're considering, because we can't just assume one story. And then when we look at IBM, more of a similar path to what we saw with Microsoft. So after I did this study as a grad student, I thought, you know what, the companies might want to know. So I shared the results with them before publishing the paper officially. And I got a number of responses. One was no response. You on your own. Good luck, right? Another response was, yeah, we knew about the problem. Thanks for it anyways. And so Microsoft actually worked on their system, said that they had improved it. And so that day, I decided to test another photo of myself. You see here, I am labeled male and 50. I have not yet made that milestone. I hope to one day. But I thought it was a great reminder of just how important it is to look beyond the headlines and also the self-reported advancements, especially with so much AI coming out. You really have to test it for your context. IBM said, look, we're going to release a new version. And they did it before the paper came out. So I actually shared what they had done. But being the scientist I am, I checked their claims. So we did a follow-up study. And in that follow-up study, we did see improvement along the lines of what they had recorded, but our methods were a bit different. So for the darker ladies, it was not quite as much improvement, but it was overall the trajectory they had indicated. What really surprised me was we decided to throw Amazon in there. Why not? And Amazon was doing what their peers were the year before, even though this paper had been out for quite some time. So per usual, we let the companies know. And this time, the response was a little harder. And I thought maybe might makes right, because what power did I have as a graduate student going up against one of the most powerful companies in the world? And so I write about this experience in the book, and it really being a low point for me, wondering if it was worth speaking up about the research that I was doing. Thankfully, I was really fortunate that I had allies in the research community, allies like Joshua allies like Anima. And finally, the companies did eventually come around. All of the US-based companies we looked at were walking back from facial recognition technologies in different ways. And even Amazon came around, and so they learned a thing or two from the book as well.
Can't nobody stop. Everyone turn on your facial recognition block. We're here to make a planet. Can't nobody stop. Everyone turn on your facial recognition block. We're here to make a planet. Can't nobody stop.